The invitation to my sister Victoria's wedding sat on my desk like an elegantly wrapped insult. Black tie required. Minimum gift value, $500. Those words, embossed in gold beneath the RSVP details, were exactly the kind of ostentatious display Victoria adored. All show, no substance. I ran my fingers over the expensive paper, thinking about our conversation last week at our parents' house. "Listen, Emma," Victoria had said, her voice dripping with fake concern. "I know things have been difficult for you since you left the family business, but this wedding is going to be featured in Modern Bride, and James's family is very particular about appearances." James Parker, her fiancé, was, at least in her eyes, a rising executive at MeridianTechnologies. What she didn't know was that I had acquired Meridian 3 months ago through my investment firm, Aurora Capital. Not that anyone in my family knew I owned one of the largest tech investment companies in the country. "I understand," I'd replied quietly, watching her fidget with her massive engagement ring. "So maybe," she had hesitated, tapping her manicured nails against her wineglass, "maybe it's best if you don't come. I mean, what would you even wear? And the gift requirements." Our mother, sitting nearby and pretending not to listen, had winced but said nothing. She'd perfected the art of silence whenever Victoria revealed her true colors. Now, sitting in my private office on the top floor of Aurora Tower, I skimmed the latest acquisition reports from Meridian. James had no idea that tomorrow's routine meeting with the CEO was actually with me. He had never met the elusive E.J. Morgan, the name I used to keep my identity hidden behind carefully constructed corporate veils. My phone buzzed. A text from Victoria. "I'm serious, Emma. No discount store dresses or cheap gifts. Better to just skip it." I set the phone down and turned toward the window. 3 of the buildings in my line of sight belonged to my portfolio companies. Not bad for someone Victoria considered too poor to attend her wedding. "Miss Morgan." Michael, my assistant, appeared at the door. "Mr. Parker has arrived for his pre-meeting. He's in the small conference room." "Thank you, Michael." "And Victoria's wedding planner called to confirm your anonymous donation. The $100,000 covers all remaining expenses, but as requested, they think it's from James's family." I smiled, imagining Victoria's face when she learned her perfect wedding had been funded by the sister she deemed unworthy. Michael hesitated. "Are you sure you want to do the reveal this way?" I stood straightening my Chanel suit. "Victoria has spent our entire lives making sure everyone knew she was the successful sister. Tomorrow she'll learn what success really looks like." The small conference room gleamed with glass and chrome, the city skyline framed dramatically in the background. James Parker sat nervously at the table, flipping through his notes. "Mr. Parker," I said, stepping inside. He jumped to his feet. "Of course, thank you for meeting me. I don't actually know the CEO's name. They're very private." "Indeed," I replied, taking a seat. "Tell me, how's the wedding planning going?" He blinked at the unexpected question. "Ah, very well. My fiancé has excellent taste. Though," he gave a nervous laugh. "Between us, I'm a bit worried about the cost. She has high expectations." "And her sister?" I asked casually. "I hear she isn't invited." James shifted uncomfortably. "Victoria feels, well, it's complicated." "Life often is," I murmured, opening a folder. "Now about your position at Meridian." For the next hour I led him through a discussion of his work, exposing just how often he took credit for others' innovations. By the time we finished, sweat dotted his brow. "One more thing," I said as he stood to leave. "The rehearsal dinner tomorrow night, I'll be attending." "I'm sorry, but it's family only." "Oh, I think you'll find I qualify." I smiled. After all, I'm the sister Victoria considers too poor to attend her wedding. The color drained from his face. "You're Emma. You're E.J. Morgan." "Indeed. But let's keep that our little secret until tomorrow night. I so hate to steal focus from the bride." The St. Regis Hotel's grand ballroom glittered with chandeliers and white orchids for the rehearsal dinner. I arrived deliberately late in a simple black Valentino dress that probably cost more than the entire decorating budget. "Sorry, miss," a wedding planner intercepted me. "This is a private event." "Emma Morgan," I said quietly, "though I believe I'm listed under uninvited sister." Her eyes widened, not at the name on the guest list but at my face, which she clearly recognized from business magazines. Victoria spotted me. She stormed over, hissing, "What are you doing here? I specifically told you." "Hello, Victoria." I interrupted calmly. "Lovely venue. The orchids are a nice touch, though perhaps a bit obvious for winter." She flushed, remembering how she'd mocked my idea of using rare seasonal blooms instead. "You need to leave. This dinner is for successful people, not?" She gestured vaguely at me. "Victoria." Our mother tried to intervene. "No, Mom," Victoria snapped. "I will not have my perfect evening ruined by." James appeared beside her, pale and sweating. "Darling," Victoria said sharply, "tell security to escort my sister out." James tugged at his collar. "Actually, Victoria, there's something you should know." "Mr. Parker," I said smoothly, "how was your meeting with the CEO yesterday?" His face drained completely. Victoria stared between us. "What? James, what is she talking about?" Michael appeared at my side. "Ms. Morgan, here are the documents you requested regarding the Meridian acquisition." "Morgan?" Victoria's voice cracked. "Your last name is Stewart." "Actually," I said, taking the folders, "I changed it legally when I founded Aurora Capital. E.J. Morgan plays better in boardrooms than Emma Stewart." Our mother's glass froze halfway to her lips. "Aurora Capital," she whispered. "The firm that bought Meridian, among others?" I nodded. "James has been trying to meet with his new boss for weeks. We had quite the chat yesterday." James muttered, "Your sister is my boss." The wedding planner, hovering nearby, nearly dropped her clipboard. After all, E.J. Morgan was also the anonymous donor who had saved the wedding. "That's impossible," Victoria stammered. "Emma runs some tiny online business. She can barely afford rent." "Actually," I opened the folder. "I own this hotel, Meridian's headquarters, and about 30 other properties. That tiny online business was just a cover." Our father finally stepped forward, face darkening. "You've been lying to us all these years." "No," I corrected evenly. "I simply let you believe what you wanted to believe. Just as you let Victoria treat me like a failure, because it made her feel better about herself." The ballroom had gone silent. Guests leaned in, savoring the scandal. Victoria's perfect evening had become tomorrow's gossip column. "The wedding," Victoria gasped suddenly. "The anonymous donor. That was you." I smiled. "Consider it my gift. Though I recall you saying you didn't want charity from poor relatives." James looked like he might be sick. He had spent months pretending his family was footing the wedding bill, never knowing the money came from the CEO he was desperate to impress. Victoria had always loved being the center of attention, but tomorrow at her grand wedding she would learn a truth she could never outshine. Sometimes the best revenge isn't proving someone wrong. It's waiting for the perfect moment to prove yourself right. "Why?" Victoria whispered, tears threatening to ruin her expensive makeup. "Why reveal this now?" I stepped closer, keeping my voice low. "Because you needed to learn that success isn't about appearances. It's about building something real, something that lasts. While you were busy playing the perfect socialite, I was creating an empire." Our mother touched my arm hesitantly. "But all those family dinners, when Victoria mocked your work." "I let her," I said simply. "Because every time she underestimated me, it reminded me why I chose to build something quietly, without the need for constant validation." The wedding planner appeared again, clutching her tablet. "Ms. Morgan, about tomorrow's ceremony." "Everything will proceed as planned," I assured her. "My sister's wedding will be exactly as she dreamed. Though perhaps," I added with a faint smile, with a slight adjustment to the seating chart. Victoria's face crumpled slightly. "You still coming?" "Of course." I smiled. After all, what kind of CEO would I be if I missed my employee's wedding? The morning of Victoria's wedding dawned crisp and clear, perfect for the winter wonderland theme she'd chosen. I sat in my private office at the St. Regis, reviewing the final guest list while the chaos of wedding preparations echoed through the halls. A knock at my door interrupted my thoughts. "Come in," I called, already knowing who it would be. Victoria entered, still in her preparation robe. Her flawless composure had finally cracked. "We need to talk." I gestured toward the chair across from my desk, noting how different she looked now compared to the sister who had banned me from her wedding only days ago. Amazing what a little perspective could do. The anonymous donations, she began, her voice small. The venue upgrades, the premium flowers, the last-minute additions. You paid for everything. Yes, I confirmed, pulling out a folder. Would you like to see the receipts? I know how much you love verifying people's financial status. She flinched at the reminder of her own words. I deserve that. I don't understand. After everything I said, everything I did, why help make my wedding perfect? I stood and walked to the window, looking out at the city I'd quietly conquered while she was busy playing society princess. Because you're still my sister, Victoria. And sometimes success means being big enough to rise above petty revenge. Her voice wavered. But it wasn't just the wedding, was it? James's promotion last month. The bonus that helped with the house. All approved by his mysterious. I confirmed them, I said gently. Though you should know those were based on his merit, not his connection to you. When he's not trying to impress people, James is quite talented. Tears spilled freely down her cheeks, ruining the careful prep work of her stylists. All these years I thought I was the successful one, the one who had everything figured out. But you built an empire while I was just playing pretend. The difference, I said quietly, is that I never needed everyone to know I was successful. You spent so much time cultivating the appearance of success that you forgot to build something real. A commotion outside drew our attention. Our parents had arrived. Through the open door, we heard our mother directing florists while our father complained about costs, unaware that his struggling daughter had paid for it all. They don't know, do they? Victoria asked softly. About Aurora Capital. About who you really are. They'll find out today, I replied. It's time the whole family learned that success doesn't always wear designer labels or demand attention. Victoria smoothed her robe with trembling hands. The seating arrangement. Where will you be? I smiled, remembering her original plan to hide me at the far end of the hall. Don't worry, sister dear. I'll be at the family table, right where the CEO of the company that employs half the wedding party belongs. She turned to leave, then paused. Emma, I'm sorry. Not just for the wedding but for everything. All the years I looked down on you, mocked your choices. I know, I said simply. Now go finish getting ready. You have a wedding to star in. The wedding was the fairy tale Victoria had always dreamed of. The ballroom glittered with crystals and orchids, every moment choreographed to perfection. But there was a subtle shift in the atmosphere. The guests who had expected to whisper about the poor sister, instead found themselves brushing shoulders with one of the most powerful CEOs in the city. The bridesmaids who had once excluded me now realized they were networking with someone who could shape their careers. During the reception, I watched Victoria and James share their first dance. They moved differently now, the desperate need to prove themselves replaced by something more genuine. Our parents approached my table, still reeling from the truth. All this time, our mother began, tears in her eyes. We thought. You thought what you wanted to think, I interrupted. You saw what you expected to see. But why keep it a secret? My father demanded. Why let us believe you were struggling? I took a sip of champagne, the premium vintage I'd quietly upgraded without Victoria's knowledge. Because you needed to learn that your definition of success wasn't the only one that mattered. Later that night, as the celebration wound down, I found Victoria alone on the terrace. She had changed from her enormous gown into a simpler dress for the after-party. Thank you, she said quietly, staring out over the city lights. Not just for the wedding, but for teaching me what real success looks like. I joined her at the railing. Keep that lesson in mind when you return from your honeymoon. James's position at Meridian will be what he makes of it. No more, no less. She nodded, understanding the subtle warning. And us? Where do we go from here? That depends, I replied. Are you ready to be the sister of E.J. Morgan, rather than trying to be the sister everyone envies? A small, genuine smile crossed her face, so different from the practiced society smile she usually wore. I think, she said softly, I'm ready to be Victoria, and to finally know my sister Emma for who she really is.